Welcome to this reading for the full moon in Scorpio. And we do not only have a full moon, but also a lunar eclipse, a full lunar eclipse that might not be seen from your part of the world where you're living, but nonetheless you will feel the effects of it. So the eclipses are like, they carry the energy of the full moon, but they are like making it stronger, even stronger. And we have the full moon in Scorpio, so we have a huge potential here for a lot of transformation. And the full moon is also always a very good moment to release things, to bring things that have been in our shadow to light so that we can have a look at it and then release it. But it's not necessarily to be about release all the time, because if we always are looking at things to then just release them, or to be like, okay, I want to get rid of that, then this will lead to us denying parts of ourselves. So before I get started, I just wanted to take this moment to talk about what shadows actually are. I mean, there's so much talk about doing shadow work, but I was always wondering, what is it? What is my shadow? What are these things? And I was reading about this full moon and about the lunar eclipse, and I found that it's actually emotions, aspects of ourselves that we started at some point in our lives to ignore or to suppress, because someone, or maybe also an institution or a situation asked us to not express this aspect of ourselves or this emotion. So let me take the example of anger. And every one of us has at one point experienced anger in our lives, because anger is just a super normal human emotion. But we tend to not are allowed to express our anger because, I don't know, it's seen as something, something bad maybe. But the anger is still there. And so maybe you have already a situation in mind in your life where you have felt a lot of anger, but were not allowed or not able to express it, but the anger is still there. And what happens often is that we suppress it and we store it somewhere in our bodies, which may lead to pain. So if there are certain areas in your body where you feel pain, it might be that your body just stored the emotion. It might be anger, it might also be something else in there, and then it's like the emotion is still there and it's trying to find a way to be expressed, because we need to express our emotions. We cannot suppress them. And so we have now the opportunity to look at these aspects of these suppressed emotions that we carry within ourselves, to just bring them into the light and just to become aware of it. Because if you actually are becoming aware of it, you can find ways to express them. So the shadow work is not about looking at it and then be like, okay, I'm going to get rid of it, but more of like, okay, this is also part of me and I'm embracing it, I am owning it. And I think there's huge potential in it, because if we choose to express, for example, our anger in a safe space, then we are able to process this, and then we are able to get it out of our system. And therefore, by owning it, it's not controlling us. So if you have anger within you and so you suppress it and you try not to pay attention to it, it will find ways to do so anyway. And it's going to control you on a subconscious mind. So your action actually might be driven by that suppressed emotion, or by that suppressed anger, or whatever feeling it is that you are not allowing yourself to express. Might also be another aspect of yourself, like a more sensual side of you, for example, or creativity, or your silly and funny side, or whatever side it is that you don't allow yourself to fully express. And so in this reading, I am going to look into the cards and looking into the energies that, or aspects that you are maybe suppressing or ignoring. And maybe we can shine some light on these things that might control you on a subconscious level. And therefore, if you can look at them and if you can shine the light on them, you can just integrate them and own them. So I realized that I just started the example of the anger. So for example, if you feel you carry a lot of anger within you and you want to address that and you want to feel it and you want to give it some kind of expression, you can do so by, for example, letting it out by moving your body, by like feeling it, and then you can, for example, just punch a pillow, or you can go into the woods and scream, or go to the ocean and scream, and find a way to let it out. You can also ask someone that you trust to be your witness. I mean, you're not going to punch that person. I mean, if you're doing like a box training, that would probably be all right, but you have to communicate that. But to just have someone witness your emotion, I think this is also very beautiful, to ask someone to help you in that process, especially if you maybe need to be held. I mean, it's good to be able to do that by oneself, but sometimes it's nice to have some help by doing that. Yes, and I also want to bring into light that I'm in no way giving medical advice or something. I'm not asking you to like touch trauma that you have been carrying within you when you don't feel ready to it. So please, I'm asking you to just tune into your intuition, tune into yourself, and see what's coming up for you, and if you are feeling comfortable with looking at it or releasing it. Yeah. So before we start the reading, I just invite you for a moment to close your eyes and sit comfortably. And then imagine that you are looking at the night sky and that you are seeing the full moon. Maybe you already saw her last night, or this morning, or whenever it was. I actually saw her last night and thought it's so beautiful. It was so beautiful to see her like this big, not yet full moon. And then you can ask her for guidance, to ask that whatever is ready to be looked at, whatever it is that is ready to be integrated, that she might show it to you. So you can ask also for guidance, and you can ask for the support in this journey, and know in your heart that you are always supported, that there's always the universe that has your back. And then imagine that the moon is shining your light into your heart, into your whole system, and maybe you can imagine that you are opening up the gate of your heart, or maybe the window, or whatever it is that comes to your mind that you are opening, so that the moon can shine her light inside of you. You can ask for guidance, for strength, and for understanding, that you might understand the things that you will see, the things that you will hear, and that you will be able to integrate them with ease, effortless. You can also ask for a smooth transition. There is no pain needed in these spiritual lessons. Remembering your hands, the left hand on your heart, the right hand on your belly, below your belly button. And take a few deep breaths in this position. Feel that you are holding yourself, that you are holding your heart. And feel that you are safe in this very moment. That you are safe in your body. And that you are loved and supported. And I thank you from my heart for being here, for being on this journey with me, for being so brave and courageous to look at your shadows, and most of all to look at your shadows with the eyes of love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So here are all the decks that I am going to work with in this reading. I already put them out, so you can already have a look at them. They're all so beautiful. And when I see them, I'm always getting super excited because they all hold so many different energies, and it's so beautiful to just be working with them and see what informations they are giving us and what guidance. So I'm taking this moment to use some Palo Santo to cleanse the decks, to cleanse the space, to invite in love and light, and all negativity that we don't need right now is allowed to just go. Bye-bye. You can also see the stones that I will be using for the piles. There's a beautiful citrine, and we have an aquamarine, and there is this beautiful amethyst point. It's super beautiful. There's actually, when you hold it against the light, you can see there's a little rainbow structure in it. I really like that one. It's so light and beautiful. And then it's a clear quartz. It's also super beautiful. Yep. So, and then right now you can see it. Okay. So I will clear the space, and then I will begin the process of picking the piles. So let's begin with pile number 1. Actually, the card is already there because it kept falling off, and I take it as a sign that this is the card for the first pile. And then let's continue with this deck. It's a seed and sickle. There we go. So the next deck is the Veleda Oracle deck. I also love this one because the messages are also very clear. And it also already fell off the card. And then we have the Universe Has Your Back Oracle deck. Just put that. Yep. And then there's going to be the tarot cards, of course. Okay. 2, 3. Okay. So, these are the cards for pile number 1. So the first card is already out for pile number 2 with this beautiful aquamarine stone. Pile number 2, please. Okay. I find these cards are they're really something. I really like them. Well, no offense to the other cards because I love them as well. Yep. You have to give your cards some love. Because they are also giving you so much love back. Okay, card number 2. And then the tarot cards. So these are all the cards for pile number 2. So here we go. Pile number 3. The archetype card is already chosen. Oops. Yep. Oh, there's 2 of them for you, pile number 3. And I feel also for this one's also 2 cards coming out. Yeah, and then this deck. And the tarot cards. 3. Wants to come. That one, that one, this one, and one more please. Yes. Okay. Pile number 3. Okay, this is pile number 4. Sometimes the cards are really reluctant to give something away. But I just kindly ask for some messages. Maybe pile number 4 you need some patience. I don't know. I have also the feeling that's 2 cards for you here. Oops. Here we go. Okay. Sometimes it's just they're falling out, sometimes they don't. It's always a good time to just breathe into your belly if you're watching this, tune into maybe some questions that you have, and that you came here to find your answers. Yep, that is your cards. 1, 2. They're really dancing on the floor today. And 5. So this is your cards, pile number 4. Okay, so these are the piles. We have pile number 1 with the citrine and the nectar card. Pile number 2 with the aquamarine and the vision card. We have the clear quartz and eros. And we have the amethyst with the unseen. So if you don't know which pile you are drawn to, you can either focus on the crystals, or you can focus on the cards, or you can see how they are working for you together. Or maybe you're being drawn to more than one pile. That's also very fine. You can just listen to both of them and see what resonates. Because what is important here is that you might have something in the reading that does not 100% resonate with you. Then you have the option to ask yourself, why is that? Is that because of resistance? Or is it just because you don't feel it, and then you can just leave it behind? So it's always like, take what is good for you, take what is helping you, and leave the rest behind. So now you can choose, and then I will see you in the reading. So welcome to your reading, pile number 1. If you have chosen the nectar card or the citrine, this is your reading. And I can feel a very bright energy here. It's coming from the nectar card. It's also coming from this beautiful stone. So maybe you can see here the orange and yellow. It's working very well together with the crystal. And for me, the citrine is the crystal for the solar plexus, which is for me like the inner sun. It's a place where a lot of energy is coming from, where a lot of light is coming from. And I guess if we have a balanced solar plexus, we are in the balance of the feminine and the masculine. We are in balance of the doing and the being. And also our emotions are balanced. So I see for you huge potential in reaching that, in finding balance. But I see also here some shadow, which is good because this is what the reading is about. It's about the shadows that the moon might shine her light on. And so you have in the center of your reading, and also with the crystal together, this very bright energy. You have the nectar, a card that represents the sweetness of life. For me also the colors are very inviting. They are very abundant and very warm and very welcoming. And you also have in the middle of your tarot cards the Ace of Pentacles with this super beautiful garden here. So for me these two work so well together. You have the rose in here, and you also have this hedge that forms a little gate with the mountains and this path, and also so it's a very abundant garden. And it's also like the beginning of something, or it's like the universe is handing you something. We have the pentacle at the center. The pentacles represent earth. So this is for me like the universe is handing you abundance. And abundance does not necessarily have to do with money. It can be money, yes, but it also can be everything else. Like you can have abundance in your relationships. You can have abundance in your self-love, in your job, in whatever it is that you are seeking abundance. So maybe you can feel into where you are at the moment. Maybe there is something where you feel like you're lacking abundance, or where you cannot see the abundance. So be sure, dear pile number 1, that the abundance is definitely there. So there's definitely abundance in your life and also love. So this is very beautiful. But then I see also, and that was when I saw the willow, because the willow has some similar colors like the nectar card, and also the nectar card is split in two. We have on one side this one that looks more like the iris of an eye, and then we have here these pearls, and it's getting a little bit darker. So for me, I see that you might not allow yourself to feel this abundance, not allow yourself to feel the sweetness of life. And we also have that here in the willow, because there is some mourning. So this tree looks always a bit sad, I guess. But it's also a tree that is very well rooted, and even if the wind is blowing through the branches, they barely break, because they are very flexible. You have this here, like you have this super flexibility. So it's like bending. So whatever is coming, whatever storm, whatever rain, whatever it is that is coming, it's bending. But yes, there is a certain sadness in this. And for me, when I saw this, the card of the tower here first, the tower, it's representing some disruptive energy. And I usually say it's nothing to fear about the tower, even though it looks like, oh my God, they are thrown out of the window. There is fire, there's lightning, the crown is falling down. But usually it's these moments when a change is needed. So this is also very Scorpio energy for me. So maybe you are experiencing right now around the full moon some kind of disruptive energy. But I also felt it in general, like you may not allow yourself to feel this sweetness of life. You try to touch it, and like you're reaching out your hand to it, but then you're like fearing something bad might happen. And I was just seeing that here in the rose in the middle, there is something that I don't know what it is, but it feels like even in the most beautiful moment or thing, you might suspect something disruptive, something bad is happening to you. So you do not trust it, and you believe that there is something bad happening, even though everything seems to be bright and beautiful. And also with, like, we have this card, the Six of Wands, which is a card representing success. And I also see in this card some kind of connection, because we have that person that is with their horse. They seem to be very connected. And also with the other people. So this person is very connected with themselves. And also with their surroundings. So maybe you can ask yourself what success means for you. What does it mean to be successful? And maybe it is also that you think you have to do more in order to be allowed to feel the sweetness of life. So you have to work very hard and be acknowledged by whoever it is that you seek the acceptance from, in order to be in a good place. But just let me reassure you that this is not the case. You deserve the sweetness of life always. It's your birthright. You are always held and loved, and you don't need someone to approve of the things that you're doing. The only person that needs that approval you need is your own. So ask yourself, what does success mean to you? And is that something that someone else is giving to you? Or whether you can find this success or this approval within you. I'm also feeling this, like you want to access the sweetness, but there is this longing. It's the same energy for me, like this feeling of like you long for it, but you have the feeling that you don't deserve it. that's also with this judging, like someone is judging whether you are allowed to have it or not. And it can just like they're not seeing. So maybe there is might be definitely someone who is not seeing what you're doing. I mean, in general, it's good to have someone like who is judging to not choose, because like, you know, when it comes to law and stuff like that. But in this case, I think you feel in a way not seen by someone or something or whatever it is. So the cards invite you to illuminate what this is, and also to, for me, it's like illuminate the brightness and the joys of life. So I think there might be the tendency to just see the sorrow, to see the potential dangers in life, and not so much the beauty of life, the lightness, the joy, celebration. And I guess this is so because for me, this moon is very beautiful. So she has this beautiful red cheek and the lips with this beautiful lipstick, and also the eyelashes. They are so long, so there's a lot of beauty, but it's like she's like contained somehow. And even with these spiky borders around here, it's like, it's not like coming out. So it's like you've put something around this feeling. So maybe this is somehow the shadow that I was talking about, that you don't allow yourself to be well, basically happy, that you are allowed to enjoy your life, but that you have the feeling you have to work so hard, and that it's not going to be easy. But, and then this is very interesting, the card here says, the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. So I guess if you allow yourself to see the beauty in your life, to open up to the beautiful things that are in your life, to open up to the sweetness of life, and to basically see through the eyes of love, you will find direction, and you will find the acceptance that you're looking for, but you won't find it without, but within. So what also came to my mind, in order to do so, you can just invite yourself to a beautiful piece of cake. For example, you can go to a cafe and order a sweet cake and just enjoy it. Maybe do so while sitting in the sunshine, while looking at the trees that are looking so beautiful at the moment, because they are all so green and so lush. And just, yeah, I invite you to find the sweetness of life in the beautiful everyday moments, and also when you're looking into the mirror. So maybe you can just look into the mirror and look into your eyes and see the beauty that your eyes are, nothing more, the beauty that your eyes are. Yeah, and I mean, this does not mean that you have to suppress your sadness, but maybe more so to look how you are maybe kind of addicted to this sad feeling, to this fear, because it's how you operated in your life, like in a fear-based mindset maybe, or in a mindset that really believes so much in the limits that you have. But I see so much beauty there, and so much that the universe is offering you, so much abundance, that I would really love to invite you to see through the eyes of love and ask yourself, what would love do? And then realign whatever it is that you're doing with your heart's desires. And also when it comes to success, don't follow just an image that you have of success because society has taught you that this is, for example, having this amount of money or having that car or having this and that. This is just materialism. Yes, materialism, this card is also talking about the earthly things, but the cards of spirit is just inviting you to find the definition of success within you. So ask yourself, what does success mean to me? And then let the answers come, but not from your mind. I mean, you can probably observe that there's things coming from your mind, but then you can just say, okay, thank you, mind, I heard you. Then now let's just take a moment and listen to the heart and then see what arises. Illuminate, shine the moon's light onto the desires of your heart, and then allow yourself to be guided by this love that is coming from your heart. Yeah, so I guess that was already your reading. So I wish you all the best, sending you lots of love and light, and you can write in the comments how this resonated with you, and I see you in the next reading. Bye! Okay, pile number 1. When I was just removing the cards, there was something coming concerning this card. I guess I said that there is a certain fear of things going bad or something, or that something bad could be happening. And I think it's always the perspective that we have on the events in our lives. So you can see an event as something bad, just as we can see emotions as something bad. Or you can simply see it as a moment where the universe is realigning your path. And a situation where you can just simply learn something. So we always can shift our perspective on the good things of events. So even if there is something that you feel really horrible about, it's a feeling that you can shift. And you can always ask yourself, okay, what is this lesson that the universe decided to teach me? What can I learn here? And how can I see this from another perspective? And if this is a thing that is really hard for you, because you don't see it, you can just ask for it. You can just ask, like, please help me to see this differently. Please give me another perspective. And then not obsessing over it and not acting again from the place of the mind, but from the heart. And then you will see how your perspective is going to shift and change only for the better. And even if you are looking for something, you're looking for an outcome, and the exact opposite is happening, and you just think like, oh my God, I just knew it. It's always like that. Then ask for a change of perspective, and you will see that the things that the universe has for you are so much better than what you were expecting. So sometimes we have to take the detour. Sometimes things have to fall apart in order to be put together in a so much better way than they were before. Because also we learned a lesson, and yes, when we have learned something, we gained a new perspective, and we can see life differently, which is very nice, because this is what your reading was about the nectar. So if you can accept that things are falling apart, and this is what's happening in life, because the only thing that is not changing is change itself. So nothing remains the same. Change is inevitable, but what we can change is how we perceive it, how we approach it. And if we choose to be like a stone, or I don't know, like a wall, you know, you have the willow in your reading. The willow is very bendy. It's bendy like water. So if you are bendy and if you give a little bit way, and then you might either flow back or you might flow somewhere unknown that might even be better. So that just came when I was clearing the cards away, which is also part of your reading. Okay, bye-bye! Hello, pile number 2 to your reading. If you have chosen the aquamarine stone or the vision card, this is your reading. And I find it very interesting that the aquamarine stone can actually help with the eyes and can help with the vision. So this works pretty good together. It also helps to strengthen your intuition, and I feel that this is something your reading is about. So what I feel is so this card with the vision represents our purpose in life. So there is this idea that we come with a certain purpose into this incarnation, into this life, that gives us sense or purpose in our life. And if we don't have that purpose, life can become very boring, very senseless, very stale, very gray, and there might not be a lot of colors in it. And I have the feeling that this is something that you might be not expressing, or this might be something that you are ignoring in your life, so that you are not living your purpose, or that you are not living your vision, because there are maybe certain expectations, certain systems, certain elements of society that are not allowing you to fully express your vision and therefore yourself. So when we follow our vision, when we follow our path, this is something that... Oh, I just lost I don't know what I wanted to say. It's just gone because I was caught up by that card and by these little caterpillars that are walking in the ragwort. So the ragwort is actually a plant that is poisonous, so it's toxic. And I think if we don't follow our vision, our purpose in life, it is something that can become quite poisonous. We might have some, I don't know. I think the universe and our bodies, our higher selves, are always finding ways to tell us that the things that we are doing are not working and that we have to try something else. And in the best way, that we have to come back to our vision. What I find very interesting here is that we have the mountain at the center of the cards. There is also a card from this deck of archetypes that is called the mountain, and this is about reaching goals. For me, like not in general, but for me, I can feel that it's like this coming up on the top of the mountain. And there's just coming to me what I read in Martha Beck's book. It's called The Way of Integrity, that she wrote connected to Dante's Inferno, the Divine Comedy. So he's in the forest of, in this forest, I forgot how it's called, it doesn't matter. So he's in the forest of error, the forest of error, I guess, or the wood of error, something like that. So he is on a path that is not his, and he feels lost. And then he sees a mountain and he sees people climbing it and they are just walking up, and then he just starts to walk up, but then there's just these demons coming to him. And this is for Martha Beck, as she describes it, it's like people are going up that mountain and feeling like this is where they have to go because they have to go to the top of it because this is the goal. People might not know why this is the goal, but they're just accepting it.
And for Dante, he just realizes, okay, I'm going out of the wood and up the mountain, but this is also not for me. I have to go deep down. And then he enters the Inferno on its way to find himself again. So I find this very interesting that this is also at the center of your reading. So I have the feeling that you might are following a path or goals that are not necessarily yours, but that this is something given to you by expectations from someone else, whoever it is, the system, society, parents, caregivers, whoever, partners could be, and also yourself because you're believing in them, but they are intoxicating you. Yeah, so this is what I'm getting here. Also this card, like doing things alone, and I mean this person here, he's like grabbing all these big ones, and I think it's just in a moment where it still seems stable, but I guess he's trying to transport them or do something with them. He's not just hugging them because he likes them so much. Maybe he is. If that's what he's doing, then good for him, because then it's just okay, I guess. But if he really wants to try to work with it or carry them at home or wherever he needs, wherever they need to be carried, he will probably fail. Because they're probably going to fall apart because it's too many of them. They are heavy. They are just like, I mean, they're looking like if you have these spaghetti and they're just falling apart. So I'm having just this image of spaghetti when you put them in the boiling water, just falling apart. And here's no boiling water to catch them. They're just falling on the floor. And with this Three of Pentacles next to them, it's just a sign for me to not always do things alone. But there is so much power when we work with others. When we don't just load everything on ourselves because we believe we have to be strong and we have to do it all on our own. There's so much power in working together and asking for help and yeah, just working with different types of people. And I think this is also interesting here. It just comes to my attention that I think in our society we honor people that are very like perseverant, that are just sticking to what they said, that are sticking to what they are good at, and who are just specialized on one thing. But I guess it's so important that people are so different and that we all have different strengths, and that when we come together in teams, it's so important to have someone who's like diving deep into one subject, but then it's also important to have people who are more like scanners to see the whole situation coming together and then working together. Because like that, if we have so many different perspectives on things, we can see things more in a more expanded way, and then the result of our work is going to be so much more diverse, which is very nice and very enriching for everyone involved in the process. So maybe you can see into where you are taking on too much and believing that you are alone and that you have to do things alone. This is also the outside of the card, like with these owls. They hold wisdom, yes, but for me right now it's just the trees. With the it feels like winter, it feels very cold. It's dark. So there's no light shining nowhere. So it's very cold. Yeah, so this works together with this card, like with the intoxication. So it's some kind of a deadly situation, or it might not be that, like literally like a situation that is threatening your life, but it might be feeling like that. And also with the death card. But I see this card, like the death card, not really telling you like, okay, if you don't change anything, if you don't follow your vision, your purpose, you're going to die. You are going to die. We all are going to die. But you know what I want to say? It's more like it's showing that things are coming to an end. And that we have here this person, I think it's the Hierophant. It's very interesting that they are this close. He seems to be bargaining with death. He seems to be like, oh, but look, I really don't want to die. Please let me live. But as we can see, the Emperor is already lying here. So everything eventually has to come to an end. Just as winter is coming to an end, for spring to arrive, for summer, for autumn to end, to have winter again. So we always have these transitions. And this is very interesting because death is not necessarily the end, but it's some sort of transformation. It's some sort of transition. Because you also have the sun rising again. But sticking to the status quo of a system that is not working, sticking to that, it won't help, because eventually it will come to an end. And probably sooner than later, because we have here with the 8 of Wands, it's like moving with speed. But I can also feel like you're pushing yourself maybe a lot. I don't know. Or is it this change that is coming? Maybe it is. Maybe it is when I see now these cards together, like I haven't been talking about that one. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. I guess this is about not knowing and surrendering and then coming back to the vision. So you might have tried to control the situation, but it might be coming up again and again. And maybe it's because you are scared, because you don't feel like there are people who want to be working with you, or because you always, it's like a limiting belief, you think that you always have to do things on your own, that you don't trust yourself as much as you think you need to follow your vision. But I think it's about like leaving these conditioning behind and surrendering to the process of life, surrendering to the universe, and most of all surrendering to your inner knowing, to your intuition. And then it's interesting because of the stone, it strengthens the intuition. So feel into this, feel into where you are not allowing yourself to hold that vision and to follow your vision. And maybe you can also ask for cooperation. Maybe this is something that you really like and that you have not allowing yourself to express in your work. So if right now it's not like a super big change that you are ready to do, you can just start with these little things like asking for help or asking for advice, for example. Even though if you have the feeling you want to change something but you don't know what, you can just seek out help and ask a friend, ask family, get a coach, get a therapist, whatever it is that you feel drawn to. I mean, there's so much help out there. It might also be like a book or a movie or whatever it is, but you can ask for it, you can ask for help, and you can ask for support. You don't have to do everything alone, and you don't have to do everything super fast. I think this is also an invitation to slow down, because you have here the transition, which is a slow process. So if you go out today and you think of yesterday, then you won't see a big change. But if you go forward 1 month or even 2 weeks or something like that, you will see change in nature. But it's a process that that is ongoing. It's the same with the moon. So we have the moon that it's getting bigger and bigger every day, and then she's getting smaller and smaller again until you won't see her again, and then she's coming up again. So it's everything. It's coming and going. It's always coming and going. And you have the ability to change, always. I think it's like the caterpillars here. They are going to be beautiful butterfly or maybe a moth. But they will go through this process of transformation. And we always have transformation within our lives. Denying it won't help, because it will come anyways. So this is what I was talking about. If we deny something within us, and if it's just change, the change will come, it will surprise us, and we won't be able to have a saying on that, because if it comes from our subconscious, it can be manipulative, it can be overwhelming, or it can be that we are not even aware of the things that we are doing. So I invite you to feel into these things, feel into where you are reluctant to change, where you don't allow yourself to follow your vision. And also ask yourself what it means for you to surrender. And if you have the feeling that you already surrendered, how you can surrender more. Yeah, so this is it. Dear pile number 2, I wish you a happy full moon. And I'm curious what kind of transformations you might undergo, what things you might come to see. Because now that I'm just saying it, sorry, you hold so much wisdom. You have these 2 owls. They are just sitting next to your vision, so you can see them like kind of your friends. They are like guide, like keeping your vision safe. So it's like they are sitting next to your vision, and it's like it's never going to be lost. So it's going to always be there, and they are just keeping it for you, and they are also there to remind you of that, of the vision that you are holding. Yeah, so this is it, dear pile number 2. I wish you all the best, and yes, if you feel like it, you can leave something in the comments. And yeah, again, happy full moon. Okay, dear pile number 3, if you have chosen the clear quartz or the Eros card, this is your reading. And I guess it's a very coherent message or reading that I get here. And for me, it's like the energy that is up here can be put together into this card. And then probably also, oops, let me fix that. Oops. So, into this card maybe. Wait. So the card says, the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. I have not enough place because there's like 4 cards in your reading, but I will put the card up here. You cannot see it, but it's shining over your reading, and I guess I will come back to it later once more. Okay, so let's start with the Eros card in the center. The Eros is about desires. So this can be desire in every sense. And for me, also coming together with the clear quartz, which has a very clear energy. I think it's kind of an invitation to get clarity on the things that you want, and then communicating them, and then allowing this process of you getting your desires fulfilled as a process that is slow, but to be sure that everything that you desire is coming into fruition and is coming to be in your life, basically. So the rose that we have here is an invitation to love. It is, because just rose is love, but it is also sad. I think it's sad that the romance, not romance like in a romantic way, but the Romans, like the old guys from Rome, that when they were hanging a rose from the ceiling and there was a conversation taking place, that this conversation would be kept secret. So it's in confidence. So it's something that you tell someone and you know that this is safe with them. So if we come to desires, it is like you express your desires in a safe space and you know that they will be kept safe, and that is totally okay to express what you desire. And then we have here in this Verbena card, we have the notion of also about telling what you desire. So let me just come back to that. So it says Verbena is an historic plant of reconciliation and was carried by Romans and Persian ambassadors during peace talks. Not only did it represent compromise, but also defiance of one's enemies. Just because you're patching over a rocky situation doesn't mean that you have to give up your agency in order to achieve an agreement. Stand your ground and make sure that you're heard too. So for me, what I see is here that you might have people in your life that do not, that where you have the feeling that they are denying your desires. Could be a partner, could be a friend, could be whatever. But the most important thing is that you communicate your desires in an honest way and in being vulnerable. And then that you will find compromise. And I guess the thing is, if we are being vulnerable, we show ourselves in an authentic way, then, and we speak from the heart, and we know that the person that we're talking to, that we are expressing our desires to, also listens from his heart, then there will be some kind of understanding, there will be some kind of compromise, there will be peace. And then we have the peace again in this card, so it's very coherent for me. And I also see this in the Unity card. I mean, we have these hearts here around, so this can definitely be about your love life. So I don't want to be very explicit here, but you can just feel into maybe also your sexual desires, where you are limiting yourself. Could be also other desires, but where is it that you are limiting yourself? Because this is what's happening here. So you are not, there is one side within you that you are not embracing, obviously, but you can do so. And I guess it's maybe because you are scared that you are being judged, or maybe you are even judging yourself for having these desires. And there's also this energy here at the other end, like the Emperor, that comes here out as a very stern energy, very serious, very strict, like the ruler. Like there's like it's as if you are following rules that you have been setting up for yourself because you're so scared of being judged or something like that. And this is why you're not allowing yourself to follow your heart's desires. Yeah. So maybe look into it where it comes to that, where you're not following your heart's desires. And yeah, I don't want to be so explicit about it, but I guess this reading for me is very it's very obvious, so just really feel into this. And we also have like the lips in here with this beautiful diamond. And I think really if you come to peace within yourself and you come to acceptance of yourself and you allow yourself to feel your desires and to go for them and you express them coming from that place of peace and love within, then your words are going to be like very clear and very beautiful, and there will be understanding, there will be unity in the end, and there will be progress. But it's something that might not happen just overnight, just as the acorn is not going to be a super big oak tree overnight. It just takes some time. It might take many moons to go there. But I can definitely see unity here, because we have also, like, we have the sun and the moon. It's like the feminine and masculine are coming together. So this can also be like the desires that you are having within yourself. Maybe there's some kind of masculinity, maybe some kind of femininity that you are denying yourself, but something that you desire. And know that there's always, so our desires are always there because we are allowed to have them. And whatever it is that we desire, as long as it's not harmful to someone else, it's always allowed. And it can also be like sun and moon, feminine, masculine, but also here, like these two, like we have a bird and then we have this kind of, I guess it's a fish. I don't know what kind of fish, but some creature that's living in the water. So it's also very, like we have the sky, we have the water, like different areas, but they are coming together anyways. I mean, I think they are looking really like friendly and like really curious and really affectionate. So at least, yeah, there's definitely affection in here. And there's also like the desire that you're having. It's like really something very strong. I can feel that with the sun here. It's warm, it's bright, it's a dynamic that is in there. And yeah, so I guess nothing more. Let me just look into the Two of Wands that we have here. Yeah, for me it's like these cards are working together. Oh, again, here we have the snail here. So the success or whatever it is, your desire is going to come to you, but it will take time. And it's like you will have the world in your hands. So yeah. So it's like really you will have in your hands, maybe, yeah, you will have something in your hand that is really valuable for you. It's something that you desire. That will come into life. So yeah, Spirit invites you to look into your desires, to articulate them, to befriend them, to accept them, and to bring them out of the shadow into the light. And then you will see that it's not something bad is going to happen or so. Or even if it feels like that, I did that just with pile number 2, just inviting them to change the perspective onto it. So if you have the feeling that something bad is going to happen, then just ask for a shift in perspective of these things. Yeah, so if that's interesting for you, you can just watch also pile number 2, the end of it. There I talk about the energy of the Tower. Yeah, and I guess that's it. If you have chosen pile number 3 and you feel like I weren't explicit enough, then you can just send me a message and we can just talk about it. Okay, pile number 3. I wish you all the best. Happy full moon. And if you feel like sharing, you can just do so in the comments, and see you in the next reading. Bye bye. Welcome, pile number 4. If you have chosen the amethyst, or the unseen. This is your reading. Look, the amethyst goes very well together with the color of that card. And I also feel like the colors are in this part are very coherent. And then we have here the eye, and then we have here the birch trees. Let me show you this card a little bit closer. Oops. The birch tree. That also have these eyes. And they even look a little bit like I don't know, like mystical creatures or something like that. So it's very mysterious here. And I would also say that the rest of the reading seem to be very kind of mysterious, which is probably because we have the unseen in the center of it. So I guess the full moon is kind of inviting you to turn inwards and to tune into your third eye. This is something that just came to me, and to look with your third eye, and to look out for the mysterious ways of the universe. So in our day-to-day life, we are very based on signs, or based on the things that are evident to our eyes, and sometimes it's hard to also see the unseen because it's unseen. But I guess this is an invitation to do so, because for me, like this card with the birch trees, it has something so mysterious, but also so in a kind of way captivating. So I really like to go out in the woods, and then I see these trees, and I'm imagining them as creatures also with the soul that are maybe telling stories, or maybe at night when no human being is around, they maybe come to life and walk around or something like that. So I truly love the images that are in stories, are in fairy tales, are in that kind of world that in our day-to-day life we often forget that this somehow exists, because it does. I'm always in awe when it comes to, for example, dragons, and that they are coming up in so many different stories. So even though we don't see them in the supermarket or whatever it is, they do exist in our lives. And even if it's just in books or in fantasies in our dreams or whatever it is. So this is an invitation to also see into the unseen world. The birch card is also a symbol for a new beginning, because the birch trees are said to be the first ones who are coming back to life in spring, and also who are coming back into an area that has been deforested or something like that, or that has been used as some kind of meadow or something like that, and that is then giving back to nature, and then the birch trees are coming. Yeah, so new beginning. Also the Chariot is some kind of a starting point. I find it very interesting that he has so many gifts, which is coming to me. Like he has the crown of the Empress, and then the thingy, I don't know the word right now, it's not coming from, the Emperor, and so he has many gifts. Also probably from the Magician, it's just coming to me. So he has these gifts, and but he's like not allowing them in. So this is like the defense card. So where is it in your life that you have been not allowing in the mysteries of life? Where have you neglected this part of you? Where haven't you been seeing it? Because I have the feeling that it's something that is really present in your life, because Also, the Wheel of Fortune is somewhat really, really mysterious with all the creatures and the symbols that we have in the center. And also here it's like dragon, and here we have the serpent, and here is like a fish coming out. So there is a lot of these kind of things to you. So maybe it's some kind of a spiritual talent that you have this talent to be connected to the spiritual world a lot, and that you're not trusting maybe, but I think if you would follow that path, and maybe this is also coming from your emotions, so if you are following that path, it's going to be definitely very nice. There's going to be a very nice outcome. You have here the 9 of Cups. He's very content. He has these 9 cups that are like a little bridge, or they remind me even of a rainbow, probably because the 10 of Cups has the rainbow in it. But also here we have the abundance, and this works very well together with the Hops card, that invites you to let in the sunshine and the joys of life. So it's like the vines, they are very hardworking to connect, and there we have the connection between the seen and the unseen world, and then we can like reap these flowers, or reap what we have put out into the world. But I can also see with the Defense card that it's nothing that is for everyone. So we have here these 2 aspects. One that is very more beautiful in a gentle way, and this one is also beautiful, but you have like these thorns that represent the defense. So this is maybe an invitation to dive deeper into your connection that you have with the unseen, but not putting you out in places that you are maybe not ready for. I would say it like that, because it's still fragile, and it's still something that is coming to life. So it's just at the beginning, and it's good at the beginning that we surround us by people that are supportive, that are loving. I mean, it's not about avoiding criticism or something, but I think especially in the take for example the blossom of an apricot tree or an apple tree. So if they are frostbitten, there won't be any fruits in the summer. So it's something that they don't need in that very situation. When it's coming later or earlier, it's no problem. But in that specific moment, they just don't need it. It's not like they need the challenge or something. It's just something that they don't need in order to grow and to thrive. So yeah, I can definitely see that. But I see this huge invitation to dive into this, into these mysteries, maybe also of yourself. And I see also a lot of surrendering. So this card is saying the key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. So also to distance yourself from the things that you really think you need and that are coming from your mind, from your ego maybe, and to just let that go, and then see what opportunities are coming in, and see with what's in these cups, for example, and see where this journey is going to lead you, but not really having a lot of expectations, just to surrender. I guess that's it, and see how this Wheel of Fortune turns around. Yeah, so I think this is a very mysterious reading for me. I will just take a moment also to talk about the energy. So it's very like this green energy that is in the center of the eye and that we have in this card. It's really like a hard energy, and also with the Page of Cups, which is a very gentle energy. It's emotional, it's deep, it's moving, like not overwhelming, but it's definitely there is movement. And then also here we have movement, like the beginning of a new process. So it's a very in here a very gentle energy, yet it's also very powerful. So for me, the Wheel of Fortune is like really putting out a lot of power, but again, not in a very overwhelming way. So it's very gentle. So if you are starting to see into the unseen, know that you are guided in this process and that you are being held, and that things are going to be revealed to you, that you are able to process. Yeah, and then just allow yourself to be surprised, to receive some gifts, some knowledge, definitely knowledge. And also it's maybe kind of invitation to study something. Maybe you always felt drawn to some kind of energy healing, some kind of reading maybe tarot cards or whatever it is that you are feeling drawn to. I think this is also an invitation to do that. And yeah, also to do it in a joyful and also playful way. For me, the Page of Cups is very, very playful. Yeah, I guess that's it. So if you have chosen this pile, I think it's an invitation to look into and integrate the parts of you that have been denying the unseen. And yeah, if you feel like it, let me know in the comments what came up for you, and I wish you all the best. Curious what is coming up for you, so if you want, let me know. You can write something in the comments, and then I'll see you in one of the next readings. Bye bye!